Hey guys, so my last video got a lot of comments from one Dr. Z, I'll call him, and I wanted to continue some of that discussion here about, I think I've got the solid kite correct. See, I used to know elusive cube blocks better back in the day when I first learned about Dr. Z's work, but let's talk about mites, right? 24 of these mites, not synergetics lingo, make a cube, right, like this. We've talked about this. This is typical fare for the Kirby Earner channel. This is the kind of stuff we talk about. We also do a little bit of geopolitics. There is a war going on, an information war, a diplomatic war, a physical kinetic war, they call it, and some other wars, I'm sure. Economic, did I say? So that was the mite. Now, if I make two kites, two mites, face bond them on their biggest triangle. So that's not a right triangle, actually. There's three right triangles in a mite, and then there's this bigger triangle, the isosceles, but not a right triangle. We face bond on that, and we get a hexahedron thing that is, well, it's two mites in size, and it's a hexahedron thing. And I think it's called a lite, L-I-T-E, in the pages of Synergetics. And three of these lights, so there's two of them already face bonded here, and a third one, kind of like a flower petal, um, makes this shape, which I think is what Dr. Z is calling a solid kite. Am I right? So then you have a quarter tetrahedron facing one way and an eighth of an octahedron facing the other way, after you've built this thing out of 6 mites, 2, 2, and 2, 3 lights. So then what you want to do, well, you might want to snap them together based on the quarter tetrahedrons. So let's see, where's my other lights? Or not lights, solid kites. Now that's not synergetics lingo. Solid kites is the way Dr. D talks. So I can take two of them and click them together on their inward pointing quarter tetrahedron, right? So I can put two of them together based on that common face, and then a third one. I think I would have these all pre-made, but then I keep messing up. So here we go. A third solid kite coming right up. Ta-da! Third solid kite. So I look for the quarter tetrahedron side, and I add that. So now I just need one more solid kite to fill this in. So let's put this down for a second and make another solid kite from scratch. So find the biggest triangle in your mite that is not, see, that's wrong. This is called a right, and this is a space filler. It looks like a regular tetrahedron, but it isn't. And anyway, that's not the one. We want the light, and then we want another light. Now, mites are all the same. They're not left and right-handed, so when you play with them, you don't have to like inspect each one and say, is this left, is this right? No, just take any two and click them together like this. Um, the magnets are helpful because they won't click together if you get it wrong. And like this, it's called a, I think it's marketed as a tanagram cube. Tanagram cube, is that it? So there's another solid kite, as Dr. Z calls them, and I'm going to click that in, and there's my cube. Now, if I'd wanted, instead of attaching quadrants of a tetrahedron together, I can do it differently. I can attach eighths of an octahedron together. So I'm going to that also, by the way, comes apart into those ortho schemes we were talking about 2 videos ago, or no, last video. I was doing the ortho schemes, or was I doing Zoom Tool? The Zoom Tool workshop that I missed, but I saw the video and it looked really cool. Paul Hildebrand. I've talked to Casey House since then, or we were on a video call. He did a presentation, kind of like I did for FSI. And after, I've been in touch with him about, using phi. Using phi, I'll put something on the screen. I think we're looking to make some of those surd expressions for both edge length and volume simpler. Now that Fuller has purged, he chose to purge his language of all the Greek letter stuff, phi, pi, and so on. But I think we can bring phi back. We can bring pi back too. We just have a philosophy that's different, where we don't think pi is actually in play in nature, and that just has to do with no one needs trillions of digits, because nature is discrete, not continuous. So here's a couple of our solid kites, right? And I'm going to put them together now, like with the inward octahedron, and the quarter tetrahedrons are going to be facing outward, and the inward octahedron is going to be facing inwards, right? So it's going to look a little bit different. There we go. And you can see it built a diamond there. And so we're starting to, with 3 of these, I think I can show you, we're going to be building, or 4 of these, we're going to be building part of a dodecahedron, half a dodecahedron. So here's another one. I'm going to put the octahedron part inside, and it's like this. And then another one. Solid kites, if I got that right. So each one made out of lights. And there's a half of a rhombic dodecahedron, made again out of 4 solid kites. And if I do the other half, I have a full octahedron, or full dodecahedron, a space filler. Now what's considered to be a coupler here? See, these are called half couplers. If I can pull out just one part of the dodecahedron and get these 4 mites, that's considered a half coupler. And I'll get 4 other mites and click them together. There's the coupler. Volume is the same as the tetrahedron inscribed inside of this cube. Same volume. And if I do a cross section of the coupler in one way, I get squares. And if I do a cross section the other way, I get diamonds. And these are the diamonds on the surface of a rhombic dodecahedron, right? So those are what we mean by couplers. I don't think that's very mysterious. You can make these at other sizes with a lot more mites, but this is what we would call like the starting point, I guess. And yeah, you can always imagine a lot more detail along any edge. Like we were talking about the concept of frequency and how once we're down to a regular tetrahedron, that's one frequency. And the A modules that make a tetrahedron don't make it 2 frequency just because there's a divide there. I mean, there are millions of divides. You can make up where you want divides. Just take out a pencil and start scratching on any rod and make it 10,000 frequency if you want, right? So we just have to stop somewhere. Tetrahedron, the edge is 1. 1 equals a diameter of a unit radius sphere. And we could pack these together. So this would be like 1 sphere in the so-called IVM, and I put another one next to it. And then the line between the 2 centers, that would be the edge of our tetrahedron. And that would be the 1 edge, so 0 frequency or 1 frequency, same thing. We haven't divided it yet. I don't know if that's too hard to understand or not. It might be. Anyway, Coupler, Volume 1. Talk to you soon.